Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics. And that is our 2008 six-speed manual, one owner, 240,000 mile FJ Cruiser. So if you all are looking for an FJ Cruiser, you already know about the bones under this. Body on frame chassis shared with the 4Runners, the Tacomas, the Land Cruiser Parados, the Lexus GXs in foreign markets. This is one of the toughest and most capable rigs Toyota has ever made. But you already know that about the platform. This particular FJ is an outstanding example. One person bought this new in Kingman, Arizona, then moved to Phoenix and drove it for 241,000 miles. It's just shy of 242 now. There's like 33 maintenance records on this thing on the Carfax vehicle history report that we can see, and almost all of its maintenance has been done at Toyota specialists or at dealerships themselves. And the exterior condition, the cosmetics on this are blowing me away. I mean, even look in the rear wheel well. You know, Toyota paints and undercoats, they dip. There's still the factory blue coming out there. Like, care and love was poured into this thing. And when we got it from the auction, the only thing it mechanically needed, admittedly, it was a big thing, but what finally drove the previous person to trade this in was it needing the transmission for a second time. Everything else about this is insanely stout, but the original design of the Toyota RA61F 6-speed manual transmission had one Achilles heel, and that was the input shaft. It's soft aluminum, it gets marred up from the throwout bearing, and it goes out of round and chews up stuff in the trans. This was missing its first and third synchros when we got it, and it was full of glitter. So we called Precision Toyota here in town, got a brand new 6-speed manual trans, new clutch, new pressure plate. We called up an excellent machine shop here in town called Gary's Machine Shop and Engine Repair to mill the flywheel and true it back out. And then we found LC Engineering in Lake Havasu that makes a stainless steel repair, a permanent repair for that input shaft, a stainless steel sleeve that goes over it with an oversized throwout bearing to eliminate that problem going forward. So we'll get more into the greasy bits when we get up under the hood, but this is really a special FJ. You do not see them with this kind of miles and this nice effectively ever. One last thing before we jump up under the hood here, I want to point out the previous owner spent money on this thing, and especially looking at the tires. BFG T KO3s that are the Baja Champion tires. A full set of 5, all the same date codes, all installed at the same time, so you can do a full and proper 5 tire rotation, taking advantage of the full-size spare to extend the life of all of the tires on this rig. Up here under the hood, got that absolutely stalwart 1GR FE V6 idling away. About 240 horse, 280 foot-pounds of torque, and the remarkable thing is this engine bay needed almost no cleaning up and detailing. Again, this is in outstanding condition for its mileage. It's been super well kept up on. You can see nothing from the valve covers there. And also, like, Toyota overbuilt these things. Like, here is your oil filter, there's your oil add to make your life that much easier doing periodic maintenance. Brake fluid reservoir here, ABS accumulator is there. This is your hydraulic reservoir for your clutch. Newer Superstart battery there, coolant expansion tank here, power steering reservoir here, and windshield washer fluid here. And again, wrapping around past the dipstick tube, see the belts and that clutch fan down there doing its thing, and just a super clean and well sorted engine bay. Again, totally belying the mileage on this. If you told me this had 40,000 miles, I would believe you. not 240. Around the back of the FJ, one of the cool things about it being kept effectively stock is that you can still actually use this back glass. The lift struts are good, and it still clears the tire because it's not crazy oversized. Just double unlock it again, and then this thing slides and swings all the way open. Now down here is a pretty cool thing that a lot of Toyotas share. This is a lockout to keep the door from swinging back in on you if it is particularly windy. Down below that, you've got that Class 4 hitch. This one should have approximately a 5,000 pound tow rating with a braked trailer, and there's your flat 4-pin connection for your trailer wiring there. Factory rubber FJ mats. You've got the anchor points here and here. These are the 3 bars for that factory roof rack up there. Actually, I'll take a big old step up. There you go. So those will lock in to create a floor for that factory roof rack. You've got a storage cubby on the side here for the jack and all of the hardware, including a locking lug nut adapter for the factory Toyota wheel lock on this. You have got one of the coolest things in here, I think, the factory subwoofer, which when we get up front, there is a button you can press to turn that on or off, along with the secondary speakers up on top of the D pillars. And for when you're really out there doing stuff, this is a 400 watt household outlet that runs off of an inverter that you turn on from up front. So you can actually run, like, let's say you're camping, but you really want a margarita because it's the Southwest. Boom, blender. These seats do drop all the way down, as well as I'll show you in the back seat. The bottoms fold forward to make these nearly level. And yeah, again, remarkably clean and good condition back here. A second to admire the factory rock sliders that are still on this and not completely torn up. Let's pan up and get to what you all know is coming. The coolest doors. Yep, FJs have got the suicide doors. So with that, let's squeeze myself in here. Remarkably enough, and I'm gonna slide over behind my own driver's seat, just for, worst case scenario sake, I am 6'1", 270 pounds. I've got great headroom, pretty good gut room, and with a little bit of man spreading, I'm actually pretty comfy back here, which is remarkable for a 2.5 door off-roader. One other thing of note, I'll spin us around again. Backseat passengers do get child seat anchors, and as I slide over to the passenger side again, I'll show you this. This bottom flips completely up, which also, again, remarkably clean under here. That way you can push this down, retract the headrest fully, and then those back seats come down to make a reinforced load floor, so you can get some pretty big and pretty dirty stuff in here without worrying about tearing up the upholstery. One other thing of note, those seat bottoms that fold forward are quick removable with those thumb screws there, so you can take this out entirely and have it as a 2-seat load bed work vehicle. Just before we climb in the driver's side here, I wanted to point out you have got a water bottle cutout on the top and on the bottom for the backseat passengers, and same thing with a pretty generously deep little side pocket here on the driver's side. The driver's seat also has thigh tilt here. This controls your height, and that controls your recline. So Toyota tried to make it so this could really fit drivers of nearly any size. You even have a tilting steering wheel here to really dial in your wheel position up or down. But now that we are in the captain's seat of the FJ, let's go over all the buttons and switches and knobs and dials you get to look at and play with while you're driving this. Driver's door, power windows, power locks, and right here are your power mirrors. Next to this is a pretty cool button. It is the clutch start cancel, which means usually this has a clutch pedal lockout. So turn it off. It won't start unless the clutch is depressed. But if you're off-roading on really tricky terrain or a bit stuck, you can turn clutch start off. And you can use the starter. Now I'm going to do this in neutral for demonstration purposes, but you can use the starter to crawl the vehicle forward without ever touching the clutch. It is a super, super cool feature. And if you're really pushing this thing, it can be a make or break thing to get you out of a bad situation. But for normal driving purposes, you've got your headlights and turn signals here, radio volume up and down here, track forward and back, and your mode there. Horns in the center, does exactly what you think. And for the gauges, tach is on the left, speedo is in the center, and there you can see 241,931 miles. It's remarkable for being nearly 242 thou. And then on the right, you have all your good gauges there. You've got your alternator, your battery state of charge, you've got your temperature, and your fuel. Above it, you got a cool little sneaky cubby here where you can hide some stuff. One of the few options that wasn't chosen for this was a Garmin GPS that would match and stick in that notch there and sit up here, halfway blocking the view as you drive, but that was 2008 tech for you. Speaking of off-roady stuff, you have got outside temperature, a compass, and your inclinometer there. So pretty cool. This will show you not only what direction you're pointing, how hot it is outside, but what angle, forward, backward, or side to side, you're crawling over some rocks or some trails. Another neat thing I love in this is you've got these extra drop-down visors to keep the sun out, and it's a really big cabin in here. You've got your cruise control down here on the wheel, getting back to these, and your front and rear wipers are right there. Moving on to the infotainment, you can tell I spend too much time in modern cars. Infotainment, your radio, AM, FM, satellite, CD, and auxiliary. Hazards, rear window defrost there, passenger airbag indicator there. This thing bumps pretty good, and one of the coolest things after we look at your temperature controls, which are just the good old-fashioned how hard you want it, how hot you want it, and where you want it, are all your suite of buttons right here. Rear differential lock, A-track advanced traction control for off-roading. The subwoofer button, yeah, popped out, subwoofer off. Pushed in, subwoofer on. I don't know why this isn't an option on every vehicle with a sub. It's great. Down here is that inverter. So 400 watt in the rear, 100 watt up here. And your parking sensors, which are remarkably high resolution, and they maintain their functionality probably because this hasn't been too heavily lifted or modified. You've got 12 volt cigarette lighter outlet there, and this guy right here is your aux in. Now, TRD shift knob, and this one has the TRD, they call it the quick shifter. It's a, a short throw shift kit, but really notchy. So there's a gate here, you push all the way over, there's reverse, gives you a beep to let you know, but then just first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. About a third shorter of a throw than a factory one would be. Manual lever for your transfer case, so 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and then 4 low is all the way forward. Cup holders here, they have little inserts. So this big Yeti fits perfectly with the insert out, but you pop it in, it'll fit normal sized cups that way. Good bolt action parking brake, and right over here, a big wide center cubby with 4 little dividers, and this is rubber, so it can be removed to be more easily cleaned. One other great thing of note, in the glove box are all the factory books, and that right there is a custom fit sun shield to fit this long but short windshield. So it'll completely close that off and keep the UV out, which is probably part of how this stayed as nice as it is inside. Also, FJ Cruisers just have the coolest windshields. I mean, come on, 3 wiper blades? It's just plain cool. But yeah, other than that, nice cloth interior, and the driver's seat does have an armrest you can drop, so your elbow stays where it is while your hand's on the shifter. But that's enough poking around in here. Let's actually drive this thing. Coming down out of the parking garage, got the windows open. We're gonna hear that that V6 growl, and we're gonna let you all hear if this was to make any sort of funny suspension, engine, or braking noises coming down out of the garage. We'd hear them as we make our way down. Now, apparently I picked the evening of a convention to film this, so it's a little bit busier than I anticipated. But as you can hear, idles along, no weird squeaks, rattles, or groans, and it just does its thing. Right, getting up on the highway. Oh, I wish I had more hands. This is such a joy to clip through the gears. And honestly, that short throw, that quick shifter, actually works really nice. It's a great positive engagement, good and snickety, and I'm sure that this being a brand new transmission with about 200 miles of clutch break-in running on it doesn't hurt at all. But man, like, I've driven an automatic one of these. It was lifted about 8 inches, and that surprised me with how well it drove. Now seeing this driving bog stock as intended with just a little bit extra grunt from that Flowmaster muffler on it, this is just such a joy to drive. Like, I get it. I now get why these have such a rabid fan base. Also, I'm a pretty big dude. Again, 6'1", 270 pounds, and like, I have got so much room in the driver's seat here. I actually have the seat up about 4 inches from the end of its track and lifted as tall as it can go to sit real comfy in here. This is one of the few vehicles that makes me feel small while I'm driving it. It is great. And, about half pedal will just nice and easily bring it on up to a good high-speed Southwest highway cruising. I'll set the cruise control real quick. And there you go. I'll get real quiet so you can hear this do everything. But that is an 80-mile-an-hour cruise in a 6-speed manual FJ. We're sitting at right about 2,600 RPM, just humming right along. For these being, a trucky platform, you think it'll be like a Jeep, kind of crashy, a little bit wobbly and twitchy. Nah. Toyota planted this thing. It is way more Lexus GX or Land Cruiser than it is Wrangler. Once again, this is going to be a little clunky because I do not have 3 arms, but we're at the end of a mostly abandoned dead-end road here in Tucson, and I'm going to do a quick 0 to 40 to 0 to show you all there's nothing hiding in the braking, suspension, or engine under full accelerative and decelerative load. So, going to try to use my one free hand to shift that. I need to stabilize the wheel, and yeah, let's hit it. 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. Can just feel that ABS tickling the pedal to keep it braking straight and true. Very confidence-inspiring, this thing. Accelerating out here on the frontage road, I just really need to point this out. That Flowmaster has just the right amount of growl, and just click, click. These gear changes are great on this short throw. Listen. That little, every time you notch it into a new one, it's just good. Really quickly, a song of this thing's era to show the subwoofer button. There you go. Push the button, 2 seconds later, bass. There you go, everybody. Back at our lot, wrapping everything up on our high mileage hero, nearly 250,000-mile FJ Cruiser. Now, this is not a unique vehicle in the high mileage. Every third Toyota you pass on the road probably has nearly 200,000 or more miles on it. What is unique is that this drives like a 40,000 mile FJ Cruiser. Looks like it and feels like it too. It does not feel like 240,000 miles. The confidence that this instills in you as the driver, from the robustness of the chassis, the known durability, and the off-road capability these things have, is just phenomenal. It's a really empowering thing to drive. It feels great. It's fun. And this being an 08, it's kind of like Toyota managed to distill every last drop of pre-Great Recession optimism and stuff it into this off-roading box. It's a car or a truck that'll make you giddy to drive. It's just a really, really good rig that was well loved and fastidiously cared for before we got it, and I'm excited to pass that torch off to somebody else. To get the opportunity to do that and check it out for yourself, follow the link in our description below, or call or text the number that you're about to see on screen to make an appointment to check this out for yourself. Until then, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.